After passing through the mouth of the trains rapidly approaching the edge of the old mining district at Keystone, just outside the town of Ruth. From here on out to the end of the track, the train will be running in very close proximity to some of the few remaining active copper mines in the region.
I love doing that joke when it really drops down. There's always one person that jumped out.
You worked at the railroad building?
Yeah, I went to the college there and bartended on the trains for 5 years.
Nice. How long ago was that?
2008 to 2013, basically. Yeah.
You know Benjamin first?
I don't know. Maybe sounds familiar, but
Here we go. Okay.
for a while I was kind of a modern day railroad boomer, bouncing from different railroads. But you know, it does mean I get to travel for you. You can see one of the mine trucks up on the waste dumps there. Again, that truck alone weighs 250 tons, and it carries 300 tons of rock. And it's as tall as a 5-story house. The wheels are 12 feet high alone.
About half a mile outside the town of Ruth, the train arrives at the old mining district at Keystone, where the Y is located that the train will use to turn around for the trip north back to East Ely.
It's the turn into Ruth. Bridge there. Right to the edge of the mine company. And so they will be around. Feel free to ask questions. I have to express my voice because I do the guiding for the engine house right after the ride. Feel free to answer questions. I can't talk loud.
After arriving at the Keystone Y, the train stops and then immediately backs into the Y to turn around for the return trip to Ely. The reason this is able to be done is because all three switch points are controlled using spring switches. The switches are naturally kept in the default closed position, and they open every time the train approaches the switch joints, which is forced open by the movement of the train. The switch is then held open long enough for the train to pass over the joint safely. When the last car of the train clears the switch, it automatically springs back to its natural closed position. This allows the train to turn around much more quickly and efficiently without having to stop and have the brakeman climb down to realign the switch every time the train makes a change of direction.
Thank you.
I'll go to Disneyland after that.
Mine can't, but...
I'm trying to get this.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when she
That's your auto.
Yeah.
Chop your head off and hang it.
You know, I pushed something. That's my work.
I'm not good with keeping ours until I get it on 14. batteries are back. If I put it in the view screen.
I remember what 17 years ago, I looked at something.
That's what
In the cemetery right next to the church. The guy's name is Jimmy O'Rourke, right? I'm 26.
so I have to look through the.
Like an old man, I go through my kidneys when I die here, I'm 26 years old. Sit right on the tombstone.
No, that's not gonna do it, Jim.
As the train heads north, we get this great view of the Steptoe Valley and the town of Ely. Originally, the railroad ran right through the middle of Ely, but a bypass line, which our train is now operating over, was built in later years so that ore trains would not have to continuously pass through the middle of the city. Since the few mines that are still active in the area no longer ship by rail, having trains pass through the middle of town is no longer a problem, as the only rail traffic on the railroad these days are the regular excursion trains.
Who is that guy?
Once off the main line, the train backs into East Ely Yard. Before heading back to the depot, the train will continue to the south end of East Ely Yard, where it will stop next to the locomotive shops to give the passengers a chance to disembark who wish to partake in the guided tour of the yard and locomotive shop complex. What is most unusual about this reverse movement is that the train is cutting right through the middle of East Ely Yard rather than using the main track to reach the engine house.
No. They're working on it. It's only about 3 miles from right now. They have one bridge out. They're working on it.
As the train backs its way through the yard, we get this great view of the old coaling tower and water tank. While the coaling tower is still 100% intact, it is not currently used by the railroad. Continuing with the reverse movement to the south end of the yard, we pass the car repair shops where, if you look inside, you'll see 2 more cabooses, as well as several of the railroad's older original wooden passenger cars. These cars are brought out and used for the railroad's Steptoe Valley Flyer excursion train several times throughout the course of the year. After stopping at the engine house to drop off the passengers who will be taking in the guided tour of the yard and engine house, the train continues north back to the East Ely Depot as it slowly rolls by the old freight house. The train finally arrives back at the East Ely Depot. Upon arrival at the station, the passengers will immediately disembark the train and will be free to walk around the rail yard complex. Over the next hour and a half, people will start showing up to board the next train to make the run up Robinson Canyon towards Keystone. This will conclude our visit to the Nevada Northern, as after disembarking the train I would be back off towards the car to head into town to find lunch before continuing south towards Las Vegas and ultimately home the next afternoon. This was a great conclusion to a fun-filled week that started with the trip to Ogden, Utah to see the inaugural run of the UP Big Boy 4014 and ended with this great visit to one of America's truly unique railroading experiences. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.